Welcome to this video on how to make a glass knob for doors or drawers. For this video, you will need a few basic tools and supplies, a threaded mandrel and handmade inserts. If you don't have a threaded mandrel, an 832 threaded rod will work. To learn how to make the inserts, please watch the part 2 video, How to Make Glass Knob Inserts. You will also need a raking tool, a knife or shaping tool, and a tool to shape the rounded part of the knob. We use the top part of a lentil press, but any rounded or domed shaping tool will work. Throughout this process, a tool will be needed to adjust the threaded insert, so a pair of tweezers or mini mashers will work. As well, a pair of padded tongs are used to remove the glass knob from the mandrel. These are simply a pair of barbecue tongs covered with heat-resistant material like spark plug covers. If you don't have this tool, then a pair of mashers will do. We will be making a glass knob that is green with a white flower. We use soft 104 glass that is white and green. To start, place the insert on the end of the threaded mandrel. Please notice no bead release. It is important to keep the insert a little loose so it is easier to remove at the end. The first step is to preheat the insert. The glass will not stick to the insert if it is not preheated. When heated, the metal will go through several color changes. When it is glowing, then it is time to add the glass. Try not to overheat the insert. If it is overheated, the metal will melt and become unusable. We first start by building the bottom half of the knob, the shank. Apply the glass to the bottom of the insert, making sure the glass does not touch the mandrel. Using a shaping tool or marver to smooth it out. The goal is to create a nicely rounded shank. If the insert is too loose, use tweezers or mini mashers to tighten it a little. You still want the insert to stay loose, but not so loose it spins around when you're trying to shape it. Continue to add glass or shape the bottom half of the shank to make sure it is round and flat on the bottom. If the insert is too loose, use tweezers or mini mashers to tighten it a little. A flat bottom will ensure that the finished knob will rest nicely against the door or drawer. Before working on the top of the knob, it is important to loosen the insert a little with the mini mashers. This is an extra step taken to move the end of the mandrel a little farther away from the end of the insert in hopes that this will prevent any glass from sticking to the mandrel. Now add glass to the end of the insert to create the top of the knob. To shape the top of the knob, use any round or dome shaping tool and slowly and gently press into the tool. After pressing for the first time, it is a good idea to test the knob to make sure it is not stuck anywhere. Use the mini mashers to slightly loosen the knob. When doing this, wait for the glow to fade before touching the glass with the tool. If the insert is stuck, don't worry, this could be just because the metal expanded due to the heat. Just continue with making the knob, and when you are done, place the mandrel in the kiln. Once it has cooled, then try to gently remove the knob from the mandrel. Continue to add glass and shape it until you are satisfied with the shape of the knob. Occasionally, with the mini mashers, twist the knob to ensure that it is still loose. And remember to flatten the underside of the dome of the knob, because this is where a person will be placing their hand to open the door or drawer. Everything should be nice and smooth. Now for the really fun part, decorating the glass knob. For this demonstration, we will be decorating the top of the knob, but be creative. Decorate the shank or make the shank a different color. For this knob, we are making a 5-petal flower. This is done by placing 5 large dots on the outer top part of the knob. Once you have 5 evenly shaped and spaced dots, gently press these dots down. When decorating the top of the knob, it is easy to forget the rest of it. It is important to remember to continue to add heat to the shank. If the knob is going to crack, this is where it will most likely happen. If your dots are not evenly spaced, this is the time where you can do a little tweaking and smoothing to even the dots out. Then, with the raking or poking tool, drag the inside part of the dot to the center. The final step is to add the center of the flower. I usually like to add a little dot to start with. Once it looks like it is centered, then I add a little more glass. Press it down gently to make sure it is securely attached. Add a little more heat to remove any chill marks. I think flowers look better with a little domed center, so I add a little more heat to give it a little rounded shape. Now that all the decorating is done, give the shank a little more heat. Once the glow has faded, use the padded tongs, or mashing tool if you don't have any padded tongs, to twist the knob off. Once the knob has been removed, place it in the kiln. If the knob does not easily come off, then place the knob and mandrel in the kiln and try to gently remove it once it has been annealed and cooled. It is important to note that you do not have to remove the knob at this point. This is done so that the mandrel can be reused immediately. Just a word of caution. If you only have one threaded mandrel, be careful adding the next insert as the mandrel will be hot. I personally have 2 threaded mandrels, so that while one is cooling off, I can use the second one to make another glass knob without having to wait. And there you have a glass knob for doors or drawers. Thank you for watching. Have fun torching!